We'll see. The story of Japan's most hated woman.
Could you live beside someone like this?
Fuck no! Maybe. Okay, no the fuck I couldn't. Oh my god, what the fuck is even going on?
After spending years being the most obnoxious neighbor she possibly could, through multiple lawsuits and arrests, this lady, commonly known as Mrs. Noisy, became a household name in Japan.
Mrs. Noisy.
Countless memes.
Oh my god.
And even a movie were made about her. But is there another side to this story? What could possibly cause someone to act this way? The truth was hidden down an incredibly deep rabbit hole.
Japan
One
analysis.
small asterisk before we begin. This topic is extremely controversial on the Japanese internet. It's rife with misinformation, and it can be very difficult to determine what's true and what's not.
Okay.
To start, I'll cover the mainstream narrative of events. Then I'll present the alternative theories and counter-narratives. This is Kawahara Miyoko. She rose to infamy in 2005 after CCTV footage of her terrorizing her neighbors was shown as headline news all over the country. Solo Obasan, or in English, Mrs. Noisy, would victimize her neighbors in Heguricho, which is a suburb of Nara, by doing the following. Beat her futon from her balcony every day while screaming insults at her neighborhood.
Is she mentally ill? Like, okay.
Times from 6 a.m. Park her car in front of the victim's house.
Oh my god, bro, my arm hair is like growing back. I'm cutting this shit off tomorrow. Probably today, actually. This shit growing too fucking fast. I just cut this bitch like last week. No, like 2 weeks ago. I ain't gonna lie, it's like 2 weeks ago. Oh my, I hate arm hair. This shit looks so fucking disgusting.
Kick the victim's entryway gate. Constantly ring their doorbell.
What is wrong with her?
And worst of all, place multiple alarm clocks and a radio cassette player in an open window at the closest possible point to the victim's house, just meters away, and blast R&B and hip-hop music 24 hours of the day, every day, for years.
So what is your problem? What's your opinion on Johnny and Ben? Who the fuck is Johnny and Ben? Am I supposed to know who that is? Johnny and Ben. Who the fuck is Johnny and Ben? That's the thing in Human Torch. Motherfucker, why ain't you just... My nigga, alright, look. I'm into... I like the game and shit, but I'm not all the way into the comments. I don't know these niggas' names like that. You could have just said... You could have said the thing in Human Torch. I would understand you, my nigga. But, I ain't gonna lie. I be shitting on the fucking, the thing when I'm playing Psylocke. I be draining that nigga health. Like, the thing is low-key ass if you don't have another tank with you, and that if you go too far out with the thing, like you go into too far up, you're gonna die, my nigga. Because if you got nobody to jump back to, you're going to fucking die every time. But the thing is tough. That nigga, he's a strange. He diff strange every time. He get diff strange every fucking time. He punched through that nigga's shield every time. That nigga, he's good at that. That nigga's right click is fucking. It's fucking up every shield character, literally. But the Human Torch, he's kind of eh. I haven't seen nobody really play him when I've been playing. In my games, probably in higher ups, maybe niggas are playing him, but niggas not really playing him in my ranks at the moment. Niggas is playing a thing though. Niggas is definitely playing the thing. I've seen the thing a lot. But I haven't really seen a lot of Human Torches at all. Like, I don't know. But the Human Torch, I think the thing is just the better one out of those. I really don't see a lot of niggas playing him though. I don't. Even though he just came out as well. Him and Storm combo is nice. Yeah, but I don't see a lot of niggas playing it. I don't see it. But I seen it though. I seen it. Like, I never seen him and Storm in my game at all, ever. Not today, not the last stream. I haven't seen none of that shit. But the thing, he's like in almost not all my games, but he's in a couple of them. He was in a couple of them. He was getting shitted on, but he was in a couple of them. Maybe he'll find out to hard counter the flame tonight. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think nobody hard counter the flame tonight. I just think nobody played the nigga. But I don't think he bad. I think he's one of them characters. Like, niggas thought Wolverine was bad. Come on, bro. Niggas thought Wolverine was bad. Okay? Until you learn how to play him. And now Wolverine, like, one of the most niggas that get banned in the top ranks. Like, he gets banned every fucking time. And what I'm seeing right now is Venom is fucking niggas right now. Like, Venom is literally, like, fucking niggas, bro. Even in the top ranks, Venom is getting banned in top ranks now because I think it's literally like a good Venom is gonna live every time and come back and fuck it up, bro. Venoms are fucking hard. I think that's my next thing I'm gonna learn, but I'm gonna get my Groot to Lord first. I already got Psylocke to Lord. I gotta get my Groot to Lord. Probably gonna do it either this weekend or by Tuesday or Monday. I don't know if I'm streaming Monday. I got a lot of shit going on Monday. I got court. Oh wait, I might stream Monday. I got court in the morning. But then I gotta go to my case manager to get my ankle monitor looked at, and then I'll be back home. But I don't know how long that's gonna take. I'll probably stream Monday. I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna stream Monday.
Blasting music in 1996 and never stopped.
If my day not annoyed or
nothing. 24 hours of the day. She was taken to civil court over it in 1999 and lost, paying a 600,000 yen fine, around 5,000 USD. This didn't stop her though. In 2000, the victimized family, who are not named publicly, but I'll refer to as the Sato family, installed a security camera which was able to capture footage of Mrs. Kawahara kicking and causing damage to their house's gate. This was enough evidence for a serious arrest.
What's wrong with her?
Kawahara was imprisoned for 46 days and fined 100,000 yen. This was the only time that the music stopped. After her release, she came back for revenge, continuing to play music and being a nuisance for 5 more years.
You have a problem.
She was finally arrested again in April of 2005. At her trial, the court recognized a specific period of 18 months where they had records of the noise she was making. Evidence showed sound readings taken around 5 a.m.
How do you stop someone from making all this noise though? Like, is it illegal? Maybe. I don't. Is it illegal? I don't know. I don't know the Japan laws and shit.
From 1 meter away from her window.
I know police will tell you to turn the shit down here.
79 decibels, approximately equal to an alarm clock.
It's like this every day? How do y'all deal with this shit?
In court, Mrs. Kawahara represented herself, appearing in a big pink sweater with a picture of a dog on it and pink socks.
That ain't fooling nobody, man.
When a video of herself whacking her futon to her classic rhythm was played in the courtroom, she started grooving along to the beat. Because of significant suffering experienced by the Sato family as a result of Mrs. Kawahara's actions, including insomnia, headaches, and vertigo, she was eventually sentenced to 1 year and 8 months in prison and forced to pay 2 million yen in damages.
18,000!
After the footage recorded by the Sato family's CCTV cameras was released to the media, it became mainstream headline news and went viral online too. Furthermore, when reporters would go to Heguricho to see what was going on, Kawahara would scream and berate them. Kawahara Miyoko became a household name and nodded at God. Her chant of Hikoshi, Hikoshi, Sassato Hikoshi became a meme. Here are some references to her in popular media.
Quickly, move away. Japanese game shows be looking so fucking weird to me. I don't know why. Oh my god.
Countless remixes were made of her too. People still call her DJ Miyoko and compliment her taste in R&B and hip-hop all over the internet to this day.
What did the family do for her?
In 2019, a movie came out.
They said she do this to all the neighbors, not just one family. She do this to all the neighbors.
But based on the events that happened back then, it follows a dispute between neighbors over noise from whacking a futon that ends up involving the media, apparently. I haven't been able to find it online, but if you've seen it, please tell us about it in the comments. So,
it's Friday.
what
Nobody
could have
does no
caused
music.
such bad blood between neighbors?
Shit,
Sources disagree as to the true origin, but it could be a combination of any of the following. The first is that, according to the Sato family, Mrs. Kawahara was upset about a lamp they placed in their garden. Another source says that the feud started when Mrs. Kawahara started hanging her futons or carpets on her balcony and whacking them to clean them at 6 a.m. This news report claims that it started when the Sato family's children...
Does she just got nothing to fucking do? What she do for work? What, like, oh my, how bored you gotta be? Like, what's happening here?
Hit Mrs. Kawahara's vehicle with a ball while playing catch. Also, Mrs. Kawahara has a tendency to sue her neighbors. We'll get into it later. But in her trial where she was sentenced to prison, she was asked multiple times whether or not she will finally stop suing her neighbors. Mrs. Kawahara claims that she was also partially victimized, however. While under oath, she stated that people from her town would bully her, including cutting her barbed wire fences, breaking her flower pots, and having people glue her shutter's keyhole shut. Additionally, she claims she has had rocks thrown at her, had people deface her house's nameplate, and had her door broken by a brick in 2004.
Well,
she says this led her to fight alone versus the rest of the neighborhood. Even in some testimony provided by Mrs. Sato, she admits that at one point a large group of people were outside of Kawahara's house heckling her.
But
as all of this was playing
do we got any proof of that though?
Out in the public eye, alternative theories started popping up on image boards in Japan.
The fuck?
Websites like 2channel have managed to popularize the theory that it is actually in fact Mrs. Kawahara, their beloved.
Not gonna lie, for all we know, the husband could have fucked and dropped her.
Beloved DJ Miyoko,
Shut
who
the
was
fuck
the victim,
up, bro.
and that the supposed victimized
What the fuck
Sato
is going on
family were
here?
actually the harassers. How
I
could
know
that
that in our
be?
language, so
Well,
I'm not supposed to know.
The
But
theory
fuck.
goes that after moving into the neighborhood, Mrs. Kawahara was quickly invited by her neighbors to join a certain religious organization. After rejecting them, she started to face constant harassment. The organization, along with all of her neighbors and the mass media, spun a web of lies to destroy her character.
So, from what I'm understanding, she was getting harassed, and now she's doing the harassing, is what they're saying?
They started attacking her and her family, framing her for things like graffiti and destruction of property, spying on her, bringing mobs of people to her house to protest her, and much more. The theory also states that Mrs. Kawahara's entire family was afflicted with a horrible disease and needed constant care. Remember that last one, it'll come up again later. As I said, this theory is incredibly prevalent online. However, I found no evidence that there is, or ever was, a branch of that religion in Haguricho, or that they have any significant following in the area. Furthermore, at the top of the Nico-Nicopedia for this theory, it gives a big warning in red text before you even start reading the article. The only sources for this theory are 2channel and sites that source content from it. It's just a hypothetical theory. Sometimes, sources other than 2channel are referenced, like the magazine Shukan Shincho. Here, they are referring to this specific article from their June 2005 edition. In fact, verifiable sources on this subject are extremely scarce nowadays. Almost all of the citations on the Wikipedia page refer to paper publications from around 2005 that are not available online, but I wanted to find out what actually happened. I bought the relevant sources online, waited for them to arrive, and managed to procure the following information.
The truth!
By the way, all the documents refer to Mrs. Kawahara as Miyoko, her first name, so I'll be calling her that too.
Miyoko.
In 2005, Miyoko's sister was interviewed when her grandchildren were being bullied because of Miyoko's reputation. She said, "The Miyoko I've seen on TV, I've never seen her like that before, and that Miyoko is honestly a nice person." Apparently in the early stages of Miyoko and Mrs. Sato's relationship, they would spend quality time together, going to get tea or pumping nice water from the springs together. Early on, Miyoko was at war with a different family in the neighborhood who threw rocks at her car. Apparently, it led to fistfights in the streets.
Oh, so they had beef. Niggas was having beef?
Miyoko sued that family, won in court, and they ended up moving away. It was fine for a while, but eventually, conflict started with the Sato family. So, how did the conflict actually begin? Miyoko briefly mentioned to her sister, Mrs. Sato, complaining about the noise she was making when washing dishes, but the main problem was the garden light, apparently. It quickly escalated after that.
Garden
Mrs.
light?
Sato says,
I'm sorry, but there's no way a fucking garden light is fucking bothering people. There's no way.
Started with prank calls. On some
like,
days,
what, is
over
it too
75
bright?
times,
Like, what the fuck?
Miyoko
What's the
would call
problem?
me and not say anything. Just a little note, silent phone calls are considered threatening in Japan. Constant graffiti on the walls, honking her car horn for over 30.
What you mean silent garden light could have shined into her crib? Nigga, you know how bright that fucking garden light gotta be, my nigga? Bro. Yo, bro, you know how bright that garden light gotta be to fucking bother you, gang? But these niggas having silent calls, silent phone calls. That's
threatening in Japan. Constant graffiti on the walls,
That's
honking her car horn for over 30 minutes, throwing firecrackers at their house.
Hey, so if niggas silent call me, is that a threat? Do I go to there as a threat? I'm trying to think now. Do I see that as a threat, like whispering to the phone? No, I thought it was like not talking in the phone, just eerie silence like you see in horror movies.
graffiti on the walls, honking her car horn for over 30 minutes, throwing firecrackers at their house, and having all kinds of disgusting insults.
I see why they got beef.
I'll never forget September 7th, 1996.
I have beef too, though.
This is the day that the 24/7, 365 days a year music started. She kept memos. Quote, I have 22 diaries of this. I installed 3 security cameras and have over 100 tapes. I even installed double pane windows to help block the sound. And as a result, I've probably spent near 10 million yen on countermeasures, approximately $90,000 US. In August 2004, through a civil suit, they received an injunction to stop Miyoko's behavior. They managed to get 4 provisions that Miyoko was supposed to abide by. Do not play music through a speaker facing their house between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Do not say things that defame their character. Do not recklessly honk your horn. Do not ring their doorbell if you have no business with them. Not only did Miyoko completely break these provisions, she bought 3 security cameras of her own and surrounded her house with barbed wire to fortify it, she said.
God damn, barbed wire? Yo, this shit better get serious, bro.
When the police came for her, they needed 4 or 5 people to breach her house. She went crazy, causing one of them to get 3 stitches in her arm. But why did Miyoko care so much about the light in the first place?
Please tell me why she give a fuck about this goddamn fucking light, please.
Mrs. Sato, one of their first fights was when Miyoko came to her house and said, you know my husband has bad legs. Your light makes my husband dizzy. What will you do if it makes him fall? I'll sue.
Alright. This bitch either must be delusional or some other shit, gang. Cause what the fuck are we? What? Are we being fucking serious, nigga? Are we being serious, nigga? My husband got bad legs. I'ma sue if he trip over and fall because of your fucking garden light. Can we be fucking for real, my nigga? Come on, bro. Huh? How did that even make sense? Like, what? I feel like that's just a neighbor that want problems, bro. I feel like Miyoko just want fucking problems, bro.
Do you?
Because what are we talking about?
This isn't something Miyoko just made up either. Here's another quote from Mrs. Sato.
She didn't make it up.
Seeing her husband go up their wooden steps on all 4s, it broke my heart. I visited her daughter in the hospital, but the time we lost as well will never come back. That's what hurts. So Miyoko has
Is the nigga a vegetable? Like, hello?
Why is her husband crawling up the stairs?
Exactly.
Well, there's something very important about Miyoko's family that you should know.
Okay.
Kawahara Miyoko was born in 1947 in Toyama.
Damn.
After graduating high school, she soon after moved into a house in Osaka. At age 21, she got married to a man who was also from Toyama. Just a note, lots of sources say it was an arranged marriage, but this article specified it was not arranged. She was, however, pregnant when they got married. They had 3 kids together, 2 daughters and then a son. They bought a house together in East Osaka, and things were looking good. Until one day, when her eldest daughter, in her early teenage years, started having seizures and became bedridden. She was diagnosed with a disease called SCA, a degenerate inherited condition which affects approximately 30,000 people in Japan. Here's what Miyoko's relatives had to say about it. The disease
I'm saying that word. Fuck it. I'm saying that word. Spinocerebellar ataxia.
3,000 people in Japan. Here's what Miyoko's relatives had to say about it. The disease starts by inhibiting your ability to walk. Then it progresses, affecting your ability to use your arms and legs. It takes your ability to talk. Eventually, you stop being able to eat and even breathe as you get weaker every day. Show me a mother that can remain calm while their beloved child gets weaker and weaker, closer to the grave with each passing day. It must have been tough, but Miyoko took care of her. That wasn't the end of the bad news, though. The disease was genetic. Her husband had it,
genetic?
and he passed it down to their children. Worse, him, the other daughter, and their son started to all succumb to it as well. From an interview with Miyoko's husband's mother, my husband would apologize to Miyoko every time he saw her. He passed it to his son through his ex-wife. But Miyoko never complained.
Sad. Oh my God.
She took excellent care of her entire family through their difficult times. Eventually, both daughters died 3 years apart. Her husband and son lived on, but required permanent care. In her first trial, she was represented by a lawyer. But after that, she represented herself in court each time. Even though she was busy with the care of her family, she went to the courthouse alone and learned how to prepare all the documents and evidence forms. She filled out 3 cardboard boxes worth of documents while laying with her daughters on their deathbed. Miyoko's sister says that Miyoko insists she was set up from the start. Regarding the destruction of the gate, Miyoko wrote an affidavit for the court. Would a strong gate made of iron really be broken by such a small impact? Please, try kicking or shaking my gate. I promise I won't sue you. Miyoko was wearing sandals at the time, and her legs did not sustain any injuries from the kick. She claims the Sato family broke their own door. Regarding the case of the graffiti on the wall, Miyoko's affidavit insists she was framed there too. Miyoko saw Mrs. Sato bent over doing something strange to the wall from her second-floor window. Sato was moving quickly, so she couldn't exactly see what. Miyoko went down to check, and Sato immediately started yelling, "Look what you've done," trying to frame her. Miyoko saw the red lines on the wall and was shocked. According to less credible websites, when this graffiti-related framing was brought up in court and Mrs. Sato was made to explain what happened, she said she was too tired, refused to answer, fainted, and left the courtroom.
What the fuck?
Miyoko is honestly a nice person, her sister writes, but it's in her nature to respond to a challenge. She couldn't stand being framed like this. Even Miyoko herself is aware how absurd her feud with her neighbors is. "I am a wolf," she wrote. "I fight my fight alone. I haven't consulted anyone about this. It's my responsibility. I don't want to involve anyone else in this stupid quarrel." When reporters talk about this case, they often ask, what could have caused Miyoko to act like this? To them, Miyoko replied, "It's not some sort of selfish, purposeless noise. It's my cries, my screams."
Okay.
Mrs. Sato was quoted right after she saw Miyoko come out of jail into the courtroom. "When I saw Mrs. Kawahara in court, she looked so thin. I felt bad for her. But honestly, it's for the best. It's so quiet without her. I can listen to Teresa Teng or Masashi Sada's From the North Country, whatever songs I want now. Honestly, I don't want her to come back. I just want to keep on living in quiet like this." Kawahara Miyoko was released from prison in 2007 after 3 months plus 17 months time served. Nobody has heard from her since, but the city of Heguricho's reputation was severely damaged by the events. They had to implement a new law trying to restore order in their city, which, among other things, restricts the noise levels of households to 65 decibels in the day and 60 decibels at night. A very convoluted story.
So you really can't have no party or nothing, what I'm understanding.
I think was in the right. Any theories? Also, tell me about your worst neighbors. I hope you enjoyed the video.
Damn, have I had any bad neighbors? Have y'all had any bad neighbors? I don't think I ever had like a bad neighbor. I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess the niggas next door, they been stopped doing this shit. They used to like they had a bunch of people coming over and shit. But then they'll park in our fucking driveway on some weird shit. Like when nobody fucking lived in this house or some shit. Like they used to like do that shit. My mom used to yell at them niggas about that shit. But after that, they cool people and shit. Nigga, they gave us pizza. We gave them people pizza and shit. The neighbors on this side, them niggas cool as shit. I had a package over there. They didn't take the package, but like they didn't know if it was who it was. They looked at the name and shit because the lady was finna come over to come give it back. But she had to put some clothes on her or some shit because when the package got there, she grabbed it with like she wasn't wearing shit for real. It was an old lady or whatever the fuck, and her son and shit. But he like an older nigga, like 30 or something. But yeah, them niggas cool as shit. I ain't there. And then I remember at my old house, nigga, we had a neighbor. He had like he was white. He had like a cool ass dog and shit. And then it died, bro. Oh my god. And then he moved, bro. Oh my god. I don't know, bro. He was a cool ass nigga. He was cool ass white dude. But I never had really no bad neighbors. Never. Not in a million. I have never had no.
Sorry about the delay. It took longer than I expected because
maybe. I don't know if I was as a kid, like a baby or something.
I've ever done for a video. It was very hard tracking down the sources I had to buy, and even harder figuring out which ones were credible. If you like my videos, I've opened up a page.
Good fucking video, dude.